The successor to Mike Mularkey in Tennessee, Mike Vrabel on the Rich Eisen Show, talking about A.J. Brown, the Mississippi receiver, drafted in the same round in 2019 as DK Metcalf. Teammates there, now both poised to get big money, and that's really the bottom line. This gets back to what we were talking about with Deebo Samuel. If you're a team that has a guy who has the window open, who wasn't a first-round pick, so this is it. This is contract year for A.J. Brown. You don't have the fifth-year option you can apply. When do you pay him? And when does A.J. Brown take a stand? And I think we may see some of these guys refuse to get on the practice field. Remember, the hold-in, not the holdout, became very popular last year. T.J. Watt did it in Pittsburgh, Peter. Didn't show up at all. He was there, didn't show up on the practice field or in any preseason games until he got his contract. That may be something we see from others this year.
You know, the hold-in really is smart, in my opinion, because you can't get fined for not being there, and you're doing all of the classroom stuff while you're there. So the only thing you're not doing is the wear and tear on the body, which, for guys like TJ Watt, I'm not sure that anybody would be concerned about his physical condition, when it comes time for game one. In fact, there could be a very good argument made that just lifting, working out on your own and everything in a 17-game season, it's smarter for a guy like that who's such a go-getter to not be working out at full speed in training camp.
And look at what T.J. Watt did last year. Single-season sack record. So he didn't really need training camp of the preseason. A.J. Brown's had some minor injury issues. He missed 4 games last year, 2 games the year before that. He only had 869 receiving yards in 2021. He had 1,000-yard seasons, just kind of barely, 1051 and 1075 his first 2 years. It'll be interesting to see where he fits in. We're getting more and more data points as to where these high-end receivers are getting paid. Where does A.J. Brown fit? Does he need one more year to really get to the top of the market? And for a guy that's never gotten the big payday, there's something to be said for making him a very, very good, if not great offer, because he may very well take it.
And, the other part of this, Mike, is that I think in many cases, general managers are still trying to adjust to the sticker shock of what we have seen this offseason. And we talked about it a little bit earlier. If you're a wide receiver right now, $20 million is not a great contract anymore. You got to go way north of that to be paid with the best receivers in football. With DeAndre Hopkins, with Tyreek Hill, with Devontae Adams. So if you are trying to figure out what, for instance, DK Metcalf is worth, or what A.J. Brown is worth, or what Deebo Samuel is worth, mentally, probably 8 months ago, you were thinking that, okay, we got to invest, 18, 20, 21 million a year in this guy. And now mentally, you've got to say they'd go on strike if you offered them 20 or 21 million a year. So that is why I think this is taking a while. Not only because mentally general managers have to adjust to it. They didn't budget for it in tight salary cap times. And you can say whatever you want about how the cap is going to go way up in future years, and almost certainly it will. But you have a lot of people, and you've known that, and you've got a lot of people you need to pay. Do you want to pay, for instance, $8 million more than mentally you had thought you were going to have to pay to a very valuable player? Because what that's going to do is that's going to allow you to pay less to other players.
Timing is everything in matters of this nature. The longer the team waits, the more expensive it's going to potentially get.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.